Welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Katie. I own a dog grooming business in regional Victoria, Australia, and I really like sharing my personal finances and the wins and the losers and everything in between of owning a small business. As always, let's just jump straight into the numbers because that's my favorite part. In July, this past month, I made $14,551, but my expenses were only $11,260, which meant that in July I profited $3,291. The profit margin on that is 23%. It is the best profit month I have had in 18 months. Actually, I take that back. Technically, there was 1 month last year where I made $3 more. In August 2024, I made $3,294 in profit. But that was with a full staff. That was with, I think I had 3 employees in August, and I only made $3 more than I made by myself this last month. So I am thrilled with that. I'm very happy with that. It was the result of working a lot, as I always do, but just a little bit more conservative spending, and I think there was also more work days in the month of July than there was in the previous month. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm so pleased with that. I'm so pleased with that. I hope that August is the same, though I suspect it might not be because I think I have to pay building insurance, which is chunky. Anyway, it just really goes to show that I feel like my business really thrives when I work solo. Let me turn this way a little bit. I have such a cute wall of all my clients. The rainbows, the ones that have passed away. So that's sad, but it's still nice to have them up there. I wanted to break down my expenses based on category this month, so that you guys can get a better idea of what the expenses are rather than just like I spent X amount of money this month. So I'm going to go from biggest to smallest. The biggest one was owner's draw. So this is what I pay myself. My owner's draw for July was $4,871.65. I pay myself hourly, so this was like 157 hours for the month. The rent and the rates this month was $2,140.48. That was just rent. I didn't have to pay any rates in July because rates are paid in 10 monthly installments instead of 12. So there's 2 months of the year that I don't have to pay rates. So that's like $350 extra that I have. Tax, 1,600 I paid. I send $400 a week to the ATO, so it's like out of sight, out of mind. I don't have to worry about it. And then when tax time comes, I don't feel like I'm handing over my life savings. Shampoo and consumables, I spent $919.98. Shampoo is the largest part of that. I go through heaps of it. I've been tracking how much I use the shampoo. A big 5-liter jug thing lasts me 2 weeks now. Now, as in like, now I'm working by myself. It used to last 1 week when I had employees. I used to have to go through one a week. Utilities, $542 for electricity, water, waste pickup, internet, and the phone. I keep not wanting to put this hand in because one of my nails came off. So other, $536.45. The biggest parts of which were the cleaner, and I got a quote from a plumber for some works that I was interested in having done that I decided not to go ahead with because they were going to charge me $1,000, and I was like, I ain't paying that. I might make the cleaner their own category because they're a regular thing now. They come once or twice a month. My accountant is $259.41 per month. Software, $206.96. This is for Spotify, MYOB, CapCut, ChatGPT, Mogo, and Google Storage. I don't think I counted that right. 1, 2, I did not count that right. It doesn't matter, I skipped a finger. I skipped the finger that doesn't have a nail on it. Finally, banking and FBOS was my lowest amount this month at $183.19, which is for my business bank account, keeping fee, the FBOS machine rental fee, and the transaction fees. Transaction fees, plural. So no crazy expenses this month. I was trying to be more conservative after June was a negative profit margin month, and I was like, nah, I don't want to have a second negative profit margin month. My July goal was to get the rest of the scheduling for the year smoothed out. Now that I have room for it, here is an example of all the double booking happening at the moment. This was caused by a downsize in staff. So when I had 3 or 4 staff, this was all evenly spread out. But then as they left, it kind of just all got squished into my schedule, and it makes it really hard to see what's actually available to offer to clients, which is probably nothing, but you know, it'd be nice to see if there was something available anyway. I did not achieve this goal. To be fair, I had a feeling that this one would be hard. For some reason, I struggle a lot with reception. It's not that it's a hard task. I have auto messages set up, so I can just like click and drag a client into another time slot and be like, send message, and it'll say, hey, is it okay if I change you from this time to this time? What I think makes it hard for me personally is it's the stress of having to reschedule and face the music that the rest of this year is gonna suck. The rest of this year, I'm gonna be doing a lot of starting early, a lot of finishing late, a lot of skipping lunch, and working a lot of Sundays. I just don't have the mental bandwidth to face that. I know it's burying my head in the sand and just pretending it doesn't exist, but for now, I'm just rescheduling the next coming week, and every week I just reschedule the next week and the next week and the next week, so it's a little bit more broken up and a bit easier to manage, and that's been working pretty good. Mental health, I'm doing better. I'm doing much better. I've had a good month in my personal life, which I think is helping a lot. I've been seeing my friends often enough. I went to Sovereign Hill Winter Wonderlights. Sovereign Hill is, according to Google, an open-air museum that recreates an 1850s gold rush town, and in winter they do like a night show with like a bunch of lights, and it's really cool. I'm doing hobbies I like I'm still been playing like a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. It's one of my biggest favorite all-time hobbies ever. I always do better when I have a hobby to hyper focus on though, and I am hyper focusing on Warhammer 40k at the moment. So I have my orc army all painted up and ready to go, and I'm really excited to start playing. I want to show you what I did. I've been getting really into 3D modeling because I just bought a resin printer. I made this little guy in the 2 hours that I had of doing nothing. Let me turn him around. Yo, didn't know he was thick like that, did ya? Also, it's the 14th of August at the moment, so I know this doesn't count for July, but something that's making me very happy is that I have just recently hit a $7,000 balance in my business bank account. I do not remember the last time it was ever this high. It was probably like 3 or 4 years ago, honestly. Last year, it would never get higher than 4,500, and even then, that was right before I paid all the wages, like set aside all the allowances and paid all the bills. So like, it would hit 4.5, but then it would fall immediately back down, which is exactly what it's done now. Like it's hit 7K, but that was before any expenses. But like it hasn't been that high before, and that's exciting. It's really just proof that like consistently making profit and spending conservatively is working. Who knew? Who knew that if you saved your money, you had more money? I guess to wrap up, we just have next month's goal to talk about. I already decided this one, but I'm already unsure if I can do it. I wanted to hit a $6,000 like resting balance in my bank account. I don't think there's a word for it. What I mean is that like after I've paid myself and set aside money for superannuation and for annual leave, that after I've paid that, like the amount of money in my bank account is $6,000. So like it'll go up, but then I'll pay myself and it'll go back down. So like the resting balance, I want it to be $6,000. This would be doable, but I just the other day got an email from my landlord being like, hey, building insurance is due, and it has gone up $260 for no reason. So now my building insurance is $1,766.66. And this is insurance on the building that I do not own, even though I have enough saved in my account to just pay that now. The landlord said it's not due until the 3rd of September, so I'm kind of thinking I'll just wait until I hit a resting 6K, and then I'll just pay it. So like I will have achieved the goal, and then I immediately will go down $2,000. So that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, thank you for coming along on another video with me. If you have any more video ideas, by the way, just let me know. I may or may not make it, but I really like doing these financial update videos, but I also am thinking I want to do some like personal budgeting videos because I've been watching a lot of Smiley Citrus and I really like her budgeting videos. She's what inspired me to get one of the spreadsheets that I have, the CoPlenty. So yeah, anyway, I will see you all in the next video. See you later.